And taking that a little bit further, there's then the question around PAT testing, not surprisingly coming up, and the requirement for PAT testing of equipment. And should we be? So the question here is: can we just give people a short course and to make a competent person to take visual inspections? And would we need to recall equipment? Again, from my point of view, most organisations have a schedule of PAT testing. So for the equipment that we supply as employers, we need to be carrying out PAT testing on that. The most practical way for me is to be asking for people to bring that back into the office rather than carrying out home visits to do that. Any thoughts from anybody else on that?
Well, I think, Duncan, PAT testing was going to be a specific question a little later.
Okay, so we can come back to that.
Well, no, I think we can probably deal with it now, because I think we've almost covered it. The statutory obligation only applies to equipment which the employer supplies. So if employees are using their own kit, there's no obligation to test. But that said, I would take the view that for employers to be safely over the line in terms of compliance, they should be issuing at least some sort of generic guidance on fuses, amperages, loading of sockets and things of that nature, as a matter of caution, even if not a legal obligation.
Yeah, I think that anybody who uses work equipment obviously would need to check it in the first instance anyway. And certainly when we talk about electrical equipment, they can carry out the visual checks on a regular basis, like say leads, cables, plugs, sockets and things like that. And then that's their responsibility to inform their employer if there is anything that is broken or not working correctly or needs to be replaced.
Yes.
And quite rightly, any equipment that is provided by the employer must be maintained appropriately and made available for PAT testing on a frequent basis. And